The WSFA 12 News Defenders have exposed some statewide problems, and now we're getting them fixed. Last week, our 12 News Defenders investigation uncovered flaws in the process of issuing those red light camera tickets.
Yeah, people were getting tickets who didn't deserve them. Tonight, we expose why that's happening and the fixes that will be implemented because of our investigation. Reporter Bethany Davis is joining us live now from downtown. Bethany?
Hey, Mark, the problem is not actually with the cameras. It's more about what happens after the light turns red and the camera snaps a picture. The tickets these cameras are generating have exposed a pattern of problems that we can now say are getting fixed.
It is a tool to help make this a safer community.
These red light cameras aren't going anywhere anytime soon. If you ask Montgomery's Public Safety Director, Chris Murphy, they're a very effective tool.
At Ann Street and Highland Avenue, we had a total of 15 collisions and 0 injuries. But the next year after it was put in, it reduced down to 4 collisions and 0 injuries.
But these cameras and the tickets they issue are uncovering some bigger problems.
So somehow numbers got crossed.
Heather Mexico got a ticket from one of Montgomery's red light cameras in her mailbox.
We're surprised too that we had gotten a ticket. I thought, well, maybe I ran a red light.
Until she took a closer look at the pictures.
We drive a Honda Odyssey and it was clearly a Mercedes.
She called the Department of Motor Vehicles immediately.
They asked for the registration number, the tag number, and they compared it with the sticker number. It was not the correct sticker that was issued to us at renewal.
The Mexicos renewed their tag by mail. They were supposed to get a whole new license plate.
They had inadvertently sent out just a sticker renewal, not an actual tag as well.
The Montgomery County Probate Office is still investigating this and not willing to comment yet. The Mexicos have surrendered that tag and gotten a new tag altogether, but they're not completely satisfied.
I'm just a little bit upset in regards to the fact that nothing was looked over at that first level.
The Montgomery Police Department reviews hundreds of these violations every day and admits they don't always get it right.
Sometimes, you do have human error.
Traffic Safety Division Commander Lieutenant Stan Rucker promises even if the camera catches you at a red light, it doesn't mean you'll get a ticket. So far this year, the camera has captured 4,300 vehicles at Montgomery intersections. Only about 4,000 of them were deemed possible violations and sent to MPD. After their review, MPD only approved 3,969. So 6% of the images sent to American Traffic Solutions were completely thrown out.
We check to make sure the tags matches. Did the vehicle stop? Did the vehicle keep going? It's already got the name and the registered owner attached to it when we get it. ATS draws this information from the DMV, the Alabama DMV, before it gets to us.
And that's where we found an even bigger problem.
The state of Alabama recycled some tags years ago. You had some tags that were used in 1998 that were no longer in use. But when Alabama regenerated these numbers in 2014, they were coming back to the original owners in 98.
That's how Howard Ledbetter wound up with a ticket from Maryland in his mailbox.
I was surprised because I'd never been in the state of Maryland. I never owned a Toyota pickup.
Even more surprised after a call to the DMV.
She came back and said that it was a tag number that I had in 01.
Alabama's DMV Director Brenda Coon says yes, that's possible.
We reuse numbers every third cycle, and plates are valid for a 5-year cycle. So every 15 years, we reuse plate numbers.
What I'm wondering is how these camera people can get those tag numbers that far back.
Coon says her department gets the information daily from county probate offices, but it doesn't distribute that information directly to law enforcement.
Then we send a file to a CJIC, the Alabama Criminal Justice Information Center, and they make it available to law enforcement.
The Alabama DMV is already aware there's a problem in the system, and Coon has written letters to help a number of people get their tickets cleared.
I've probably written 4 or 5 letters in the course of a couple of years, because this hasn't always, to my knowledge, been an issue.
What I'm wanting to do is see if I can get my name taken off of any tags in the past that I have had.
That may not be possible, but there is at least an effort now to address the problem.
I don't know that there's anything else the Department of Revenue can do. We have been working with the CJIC to try to determine what they are returning to law enforcement.
After a week of requesting an interview with the Criminal Justice Information Center, all we got was a written statement from the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, which now oversees ASEJIC, saying in part, Aaliyah has reviewed ASEJIC's policies in respect to the license plate registration information and determined that changes were needed. Because the Department of Revenue duplicates license plates after a number of years, Aaliyah has now limited the number of years that will be returned to law enforcement. And now even the Montgomery Police Department is considering a change in their red light ticketing process.
You know, thanks to your reporting, we're looking at possibly adding the local police telephone number, the non-emergency line. If you cannot get satisfaction, don't get the right answer you feel like at ATS in Arizona, that you can call us too. We understand that the Montgomery Police Department here is to protect and serve. We are public servants. We don't want to add to people's frustrations.
So first things first, to make sure you don't get one of those bogus tickets, before you even pull out of the driveway in the morning, pull out your registration. I want you to look on the far left-hand side in the box where it says current tag number and take a look at the tag on the back of your car. Make sure the number here matches the number on your paper. Since ASEJIC and the DMV are working together to reduce what law enforcement sees, there's really not as much of a need to worry about your old tags right now. But if you do get one of those tickets in the mail and you just can't seem to get answers that you're looking for, the Montgomery Police Department says these cameras fall under the Traffic Safety Division, and Commander Lieutenant Stan Rucker will be glad to talk with any of you until you're satisfied. Mark and Val?
Exposing an important problem. Bethany, thank you. Remember, unlike the tickets that are issued by actual officers, these red light camera tickets do not constitute a criminal charge. They are only a civil one. Therefore, they do not accrue points to your driver's license. You can read more on the topic at WSFA.com. The 12 News Defenders have an update tonight on a recent investigation. We are uncovering more of the issues that cause red light camera citations to be sent to the wrong people. Tonight, more answers from reporter Bethany Davis, who's joining us live now on the Southern Boulevard. Bethany?
Mark, the problem is not necessarily with the cameras. It's the tickets that they're coming from these cameras that are exposing a number of issues. Well, tonight, another driver says he got a ticket from one of Montgomery's red light cameras and says the picture on the ticket is not his car. However, the license plate on his car is the same as the tag number on the ticket.
Well, I don't have any tickets.
Until now, Anthony Harper got a ticket from one of Montgomery's red light cameras.
I live in Colton, so that's somewhere around 150 miles away. I hadn't been to Montgomery in years.
What's in the pictures isn't Harper's car, so he called the number listed on the ticket, the Arizona company who operates the cameras.
They were real adamant about it being my vehicle. They said I could even have taken the tag off and put it on another vehicle.
Here's the problem. Both tags have the same number.
There will always be a chance that there is a duplication of numbers.
Alabama's DMV director Brenda Kuhn says the state produces more than 200 different types of license plates, and some of the more common plates, like handicap tags, are pre-printed.
The amateur radio tag law says that when we produce those plates, and they're produced on demand, we produce those based on lettering that the FCC assigns to the individual.
From the way I understand it, anytime anybody's tag number has an O in it or 0, there's going to be a conflict.
Harper's right. The DMV says it's law enforcement's responsibility to recognize the different plates.
Put the letter O on any of our plates. In the registration system, there are tag types. Law enforcement should not only be looking at the tag number, but the tag type.
Harper is no longer responsible for the ticket, but hopes exposing his experience will keep the same thing from happening to someone else.
That is the principle of the thing.
Exposing his story and the runaround he got from the ticket issuing company has already made a difference. Montgomery's public safety director has already told me this week that because of our investigation into the issues that these tickets are exposing, they're considering a change on those red light tickets, looking to put a local Montgomery police telephone number on those tickets
for those who feel they can't get the answers they're looking for from that company in Arizona. Mark?
Great work tonight from Bethany Davis and the 12 News Defenders. You should know that tickets issued by red light cameras do not constitute criminal charges, only civil ones. Therefore, they do not accrue points to your license. You can read more of our investigation at WSFA.com.
Live, local. Now, this is WSFA 12 News at 6.
New information tonight in our ongoing investigation of Montgomery's red light cameras. Good evening, everyone. I'm Valerie Lawson.
And I'm Mark Bullock. Tonight, yet another issue is exposed, and the 12 News Defenders are getting answers.
We've learned some citations for running red lights are going to the wrong people. Duplicate license plate numbers are to blame. Sometimes the state recycles old numbers when issuing new plates. They're working to correct that problem. But tonight, a new concern when it comes to fighting those tickets in court. Reporter Bethany Davis has this 12 News Defenders update.
Two men fighting two very different tickets have two eerily similar stories.
I believe they said we were doing 39 in a 30 miles per hour speed zone.
Isaiah Sankey got a ticket from a speeding camera. Mark Montiel got one from a red light camera. Both ran into trouble from the start when they tried to contest them.
Requesting your hearing was not easy.
Put in my written request for a court date, but I never received one.
Quite frankly, if I hadn't been a lawyer, I wouldn't have known how to get one.
When they finally got their day at municipal court, more frustration.
As it turned out, they were taking people in the back room rather than doing it in the open court.
He said very adamantly that he was not interested in any philosophical discussion. He was not going to document anything. He needed to know how much time I needed to pay the ticket, or I could take it to circuit court.
That's what both men decided to do.
The problem is with due process.
Two different judges presided over the two different cases in district court. Both judges ruled in favor of the defendant against the city, but neither of them gave any explanation for their ruling. Now, the city of Montgomery is appealing.
The city won't comment on these specific cases since it's still in the appeals process, but Municipal Court Administrator Ken Nixon says it's common for these camera ticket cases to be pulled out of the courtroom.
If it's something where the video needs to be seen, then they're taken back to the back so everyone can see the same display.
He says it's also a matter of convenience when the docket is presented every other Friday morning.
The automated docket overlaps the regular docket. Sometimes if the other judge is available, he'll come into the back office and handle the cases there just to help get people out. It's a customer service issue.
But after this interview, Nixon called back to say the court dates for camera tickets are now being moved to every other Monday afternoon, a time when nothing else is on the docket. Still not good enough for Sankey and Montiel.
The ideal solution was to get rid of it.
Well, I think they should come down and be returned to Arizona and that the law be repealed.
There's no word when the Court of Appeals will rule in either case. Bethany Davis, WSFA 12 News, Montgomery.
And we should point out, if you own the car that is ticketed, you are responsible to pay the ticket, not the driver of the vehicle. Also, these are civil violations and do not accrue points against your driver's license.